It begins in the porch today with the scene of an execution of a man named Macaster, and the city's mayor accuses him of stealing many things from him. Therefore, the death penalty is being carried out, and Ginny's son is standing and attending the execution of his father, McAllister. But his father keeps telling him that he should go and not see what will happen, but Jimmy refuses until he does not speak to him. The president is taking advantage of the situation and tells Jimmy that his father is a big thief and deserves everything that is happening to him right now. Jimmy is crying and trying to stop himself. He hears these words about his father. Here we see someone named Bricks, and someone approaches him and tells him to be careful. At the end, it's not Callister, whose name is Bobby, because the president is suspicious. He is planning something, and the president continues his words until gunshots start everywhere, and the one driving the car that was standing on it in Lester's place moves and fights with Claster, and his men die. The president takes out his gun and kills all the men on the horse. He cuts the rope at the last moment and reassures Jimmy about his father and goes to the president's barge. He dies and calls for help to call the doctor, but Bricks doesn't care and takes the money in his pocket from him and tells him that this money is his right. He goes to Lester's place and gives him the price of the shop for his brother. Meglister gets angry and pulls out the gun, but Bricks was a professional and much faster than him, and they are killed in front of a shock from his son Jimmy, who cannot speak. He does not say anything while his father is dead in front of him, and 20 years have passed since everything that happened, and we see a woman named Ruth, and what we know is that she is a barbaric woman, and what surprises her is that he watches her while she is hanging out the laundry and tells her that he loves to watch her do anything, so she takes advantage of this talk and tells him that it is today he will deliver their daughter's bathrobe to school because it is not empty and she does not have to finish the laundry. So he tells her that it is not empty and that he must go and open his own shop, and he will agree to good health because he does not care about this atmosphere of pomp and the daily life of children. But he agrees and takes her with him while he is fanatical, and when they reach school they find out that her teacher, Valerie, is sick, and that's why there's no school today. Bricks tells his daughter that she should go home alone, but Brooke tells him that her mother doesn't like that she comes back alone, and someone has to drive her. Of course, Bricks is forced to take Brooke with him to his store, which is in a village next to his village, and he tells her to get rid of it. She is studying or reading any book she is busy with, and someone named Jeffers arrives at the store, and he is still a big customer, telling everything that happened with his mother and stories that have nothing to do with each other, and he gets a smothered breakfast from him, and in the end, Jabers asks for a minute from Pyramids so his mother can make him the cake that he loves, and she sees a Brooke while he steals the bomboni from the box, then returns it again and tells her that he is joking with her father. When Burgess returns, Brooke tells him that Jeffs wanted to steal the bomboni, but that's not the problem if his hands are dirty, so Brooke lights up the whole box and tries to clean one by one and puts all the color in a jar by itself, and it will be there at that time. Her mother went to finish her laundry and saw someone riding a horse, but her origin was from afar. And as soon as she woke up, another person appeared and introduced himself to her, and that his name was James or Ginny McAllister, and that he and his friends were lost in the place and did not know how to go to the city, and he told her that they did not know that there was someone in the house and close to her. There are 3 other people with James Box, Big Mac, and Justice, and she tells them that the country they want to go to is half an hour away, and that they can wait for her husband until he comes to guide them exactly. She mentioned a sentence specifically to show them that she is not alone and to scare them a little, but James asks her if it was her husband that they saw. He is with the little girl while they are going to the city, and they tell her that it has been a long time since they have been walking, which means that she is attacking them and trying to escape and hit them. She runs away to the barn there, and they all go after her, and are looking for her, but she suddenly appears and runs away riding the horse, but James goes and shoots the horse and gives an order. Men go to get her, and he looks at the gems and finds Brix's name on the horse, and he remembers everything that happened to him when he was young, and he remembers all the moments when his father came to the tower and hit Ruth on the face with a gun, but his rank threatened them, and she told them that she is Brix's woman and that what they are doing will make the devil inside her eyes wake up again, and just like that, he will chase them in order to kill them, but James tells her that he has known Burgess well for a long time, and that James and Burgess are like family, and he passes the time, and Brix decides that he will close his store and take a block to go away. When they get there, they find generals from the city at his house, and they will be surprised at what happened. Marshal Gary approaches Brix and tries to talk to him, but he does not know that this is Brix in the first place, and when he gets to know him, he is surprised that Burgess is captured and still has a family after what he did for a long time, but he is worried and tells Jerry that he wants to know exactly what happened, and I hope he decides to just tell him a block away from him, and then he buries Burgraff, and he is stumbling and sad. At the same time, Gary is sitting with Brooke and tells her how much her mother was a wise and kind woman because she was able to turn Brix, after he had been killing people for a long time, into a good man. When Brix finishes the burial, he goes to Jarrett to console him one last time and asks for Burgraff from him. He tells him the people who did that, but Jarrett refuses and tells him that this time in the city there is a law, and they repeat that he will get Rose's rights and execute these people, but on the condition that Brix does not interfere in anything, and tells him that revenge is forbidden for him as long as he has a daughter that he needs to raise. Before he leaves, he says that the people who killed your wife made a lot of waste in his horse barn, and it is better that you see it for yourself. He goes to Burge and finds traces of blood on Ra's head and a word that James wrote to him, and he says to him, I am offering you more, and he knows that. Break like what happened. This is that you are someone's mother. And he thinks Jared's words when he told him that his daughter's madam is present. Revenge is forbidden for him, and he decides to go into his daughter's room and point a gun at her, but he hesitates and does not want to kill her. She pulls out a sled ride at first and then tells him very coldly that if her mother is alive, she will not be happy that he points a gun at her and takes down his weapon. He leaves her, but he leaves because he wakes her up and tells her that they will leave the house in half an hour and that she must prepare what she needs. In fact, he puts the two of them on the horse and burns the logs of the barn and their house. When they ask Brooke why he did that, he tells her, because we will never come back again, and as soon as we find those who killed the head, we will kill them and leave them behind. Everything will start from the beginning, and they will go on their way and decide that they will rest, and Plagues will go back to his old life again, and Brock will tell him that he has half an hour to complete every 4 hours, and that the men who killed the head will surely be waiting for us, and there's no point if we reach them quickly, and we are tired, because they will definitely want to. They kill us, and the marshal and his men become ill on the road because James and his men chase him. The marshal speaks and is surprised at Brooke, the little girl who has not shed a single tear from her eyes, even though her mother is dead in front of her. Suddenly, fire hits them from all over, and a number of the marshal's men are wounded, and they continue to exchange blows. And one of the men, James, is wounded. By alerting James and his men, they completely paralyzed their movements and nerve-wracked a large number of his men, but James is fanatical because Pops did not attack the marshal well in the first place, and he shot only one of his men, and Box is also fanatical and does not stand James, but he apologizes to him and tells him this is a mistake on his part, and Burrs is friends with Rock. He tells her that he heard the sound of fire hitting in the valley, and that they must go and see what happened. Well, on the way, Prince hears the sound of a horse coming toward them, so he tells Brooke that he will try to kill him In order to take the horse from him, she tells him to block it and that they should see another way. He tells her that she is holding him back and makes herself cry, so she says. Brooke tells him that she doesn't know how to cry, but she will try. And when this person, who is one of his men, appears, music, tell him the names of the people who killed Roots. And he refuses, and they threaten Burgess, and he himself will kill one of his men until Jarrett tells him all their names, and he also tells him all the information. They were going to a country called Santroza, and he threatened Marshall Brooks, saying that they would kill them because he thought that after he took the information, one of his men appeared, but Brooks was taking the bullet out of his shoulder, and Brooks told him that the bullet was poisoning his arm, and it was only a matter of hours before he died. This time, Brooks threatened Marshall Brooks, telling him that he would go this country, and if he does not discuss the names he said about it, it will come back to him a second time, and then they will be killed, even if he was protected in the middle of the heart of a man who divides the money among them, and each one goes to his place. But they will not know where to spend this money, or they will leave the money with James, and they will all be together because of James. He knows how he will act at all in order to stand against Brooks, and James puts them between two fires, but they choose the second solution with me, and they're all together. On the way, he takes a piece of wood placed on the grave of a dead person, and Brooke tells him that he should not do that because the wood belongs to the dead, but Brixie tells her that the dead do not he does what the living do for you, but they are the ones who need to eat, drink, and wear, but the dead do not need everything. That is why he loves the dead. He delivers James and his men to Santroza and tells them that each one of them will take turns, and the one who starts is Justice, and he will be Breaks, and Brooke will camp at night, and Brooke asks him if he was killing people in his time, and that he at the beginning of his life, he was a different child. He was not afraid, and he did not cry when his family died, and everyone was crying, but the only time everything changed because of it, and when they came in the morning, he woke up, and the one who was upset because the men did not come and others with him was in the shift, so he goes to James to complain to him, and James tells him that you have the right to complain, but also, it was possible for Brooks to enter the village while you were sleeping and break his finger, and because every time he sleeps he thinks of his finger being broken, and Brooks teaches Brooke how to practice shooting with a gun and tells her instructions until she doesn't know how to shoot a fire well, and Brooks and Brooke study how to enter the village, and Brooks says that they know for sure that he is coming. She is waiting for the village to be exposed, meaning that they will see everyone inside, so Brooks says it's a hellish idea, which is that they definitely don't know what she looks like, so she decides that she is the one who will go to the village and enter the store and sit looking for anything, as he used to do with her father, and when she comes out, she finds James and his men waiting for her, and they tell her that they know that she is Brooks's daughter, especially since his name is on a horse, and they all prepare because this means that he is close and will attack them, and he will take James Brooke and sit with her and talk to her and tell her that she is like his sister. Because Brooks's father, when her father Callister died, planted something in him that continued to grow inside him, and that the look belonged to James when he was not. I still remember her and have not forgotten her. And when she is late riding, he knows that Breaks is like there is a problem, so he decides to go himself and sees him there, collecting you while he is coming on the horse and trying to enter the room and wait for you, but Breaks is smarter than him and waits for him in the room and puts a knife in his back and tries to withdraw in order to alert the rest of the people, but they kill Brooks, and all the men know that Burgess has arrived and they are looking for him, but Brooks is able to shoot Boots, but Jose is able to hit him in the arm, and James goes out with Brock and Professor. He points the gun at her, and James tells him that he is the little boy who killed his father long ago, and that now there's a solution before him. Either he saves Burek and kills who he is, or he saves himself. and hits James and falls to the ground, and James cannot believe himself that he was able to kill the great Burak. But his joy is not complete because Block takes the weapon and fires on us and kills him and goes to her father, and she is crying with her father in her hands, the pen with a picture of her mother in it. He tells her that her mother will instruct her on what to do, and when the marshal comes, he tells his soldiers that they are picking up the bodies. He talks to Brooke and tells her that he is supposed to arrest her for what she did to her father, but he will not do that. He will say that what happened is the result of the Neverjez. He wanted to help justice and find the criminals, and for that, she will be killed and she will be killed. Brooke is a little happy because in this story, her father, Brix, will be a hero and he will die, and his old biography will be buried with him, and she will prefer the last memory, which is that he was a hero who helped justice, and here the episode ends. Thank you for watching.